another HSE officer. Okay, your name? Your name? Your name? Your name?
My name is Nuzul.
My name is Mahtan.
My name is Muhammad Sadiq.
My name is Mohammed Shahjahan.
My name is Muhammad.
My name is Arun.
My name is Muhammad Sadiq.
My name is Majid.
My name is Abbas.
Namaste. Okay, then we are going to start the work at height. Okay, scaffolding. We are going to discuss about the scaffolding. What is scaffolding? Okay, then first, in case of any emergency, okay, in case of any emergency, we go direct, open the door and outside and go straight. There is an assembly point. In case of any emergency, you gather at the assembly point. And please keep all your mobile phone on silent mode. Okay. Then after finish this training, we are going to one test. If anybody will pass at 80% above, you can pass. Below 80%, 70% score, retesting. First of all, when you are going to start the work at height, then above the 1.8 you require 1.8 meter above, then you require the full body harness. Without full body harness, you cannot perform any work at height. What is the then after? It's our aim for the training for preventing or mitigating. What is the causes of work at height training? Fall of person from different level, contact with electrical circuit, fall of material, and tripping over collision of aerial or platform. It is the exception. Carbon is not applicable on footwork. If you are going to permanent platform, no need to carbon, no need to work at height training. Okay. Weather condition. First of all, we are going to discuss the weather condition. Work at height should be suspended due to this reason. Heavy rains will come, then work at height work is suspended. Lighting, excessive wind, 40 km per hour. If wind is high, then we have to stop the work at height. Lack of visibility, we cannot see properly, then we have to stop the work at height. Simultaneous operation, if two works is going on at same times, suppose work at height and downside another work is going on, then one work should be stopped. Then guardrail. What is the guardrail? Guardrail means we can prevention the fall of person, prevention the fall of material. Then there are some criteria of standards of the guardrails. Top guardrails 0.9 meter, permanent elevated, which is permanent 0.9 meter, intermediate railing 0.7 meter, and toe board 0.1 meter. If scaffolding 1.2 meters, intermediate rail 0.7 meters, and toe board 0.20 meters. A staircase. In considered section with less risk of falling compared with using a ladder, they also provide significant benefit to the user as they enable light goods to be carried, provided a handhold is maintained and is of egress from height at in an emergency. If you are going to a staircase, then hand should be free. You cannot take some materials during the staircase if you are using. A staircase installation must be installed after it being approved by certified and qualified professional person, which meeting the standards of engineering technical specification. Lifeline and independent lifeline. Safety line where the worker anchors his safety belt. Adopted when there is a risk of collapse of a structure that supports the worker. Lifeline means if you are going to hide working, then one lifeline should be there, because where you anchoring the full body harness. Lifeline must be fixed in solid fixed structure, separate from the structure you are working on. That can guarantee that they will support the worker's weight in the event of fall. The independent lifeline is a fall prevention control that prevents the worker from falling in the event of a structure collapse. Inactivities with rope suspended as scaffolding, chairs, where there is a risk of collapse of this structure. A situation in which the employee must be moored on an independent lifeline, place where there is a risk of collapse are fragile rope surface which can be broken. Suppose that workshop you are going to work on the top of roof of workshop, it can be collapsed anytime. That's why we have to use the lifeline if we are going to roof of workshop. Employee perform the activity of removing telephone cables on the slab of an office. At a certain point when the employee was no longer fixed, one of the employees stepped on an asbestos plate which broke, leaving the employee suspended and supported on the structure at a height of approximately 2 meters. Actual cause breaking of the floor. Floor break can be break. Workers should be fixed throughout the activity in an independent structure. Installation of the guardrail, worker fixed on the tile itself. Anchor point. Anchor points requirement. What is the requirements of anchor points? When we have to anchor in the harness. Anchor point installed must be designated and installed after being approved by certified and qualified professional person under responsibility of engineering department. Okay? The anchor point must be resistant to the stress imposed. The anchoring point system shall be selected such that the impact force transmitted to the worker is not more than 611.8 kg upon any fall. The integral structure of an anchorage system shall withstand the maximum applicable force. Periodic inspection of anchor system shall occur with a frequency of no greater than annual. Every year you have to anchoring point or lifeline should be inspected by the third party person who is qualified for the inspection. This is the safety belt. Okay? You know about the safety belt? Full body harness, which prevention from work at height, falling off work at height. Additional control used together with the guardrail, parachute safety belt with double lanyard and double locking snap opening 53 mm. Used in any work activity at height and must always be anchored to pass through a trapdoor guardrail. Safety belt must be inspected before use accordingly to Annex 4 pre-use inspection checklist of safety harness. If you are going to use the full body harness, must fill the checklist which is given by us. Must fill the checklist. Without checklist, you cannot use the full body harness. How to wear the full body harness? You can see this image. How can wear the full body harness? Then, when working at height and wearing a lanyard with energy absorber, it is necessary to observe the minimum distance of the anchoring point to the ground, which is determined by the manufacturer and printed on the equipment. Double lanyard. We are using for the double lanyard only for 100% tie-up. 100% tie-up means if you remove one lanyard, then second should be installed. We cannot remove the lanyard along with both. Both cannot be removed. This is the right point for lanyard hook fixation. We cannot anchor the full body harness down the leg on middle. Always harness should be anchored above the shoulder. This is the best fix. The lanyard above the employee shoulder heights. You can see the video how to use the correct PP without any PP working. You can see this video. As proper fill the checklist. You can see this video without inspection, full body harness not be used anyhow. Scaffolding. What is the scaffolding? Scaffolding is the temporary platform to perform the any work at height. When you are going to perform the height on temporary basis, then we have to use the scaffolding. The scaffolding is a structure set up to give workers access to high pallets that are difficult to access for temporary maintenance. Type of scaffolding: tubular, built-on, flat. What is the character? Tubular, built on a flat surface free from damage or deformation. Platform with wedges of clamp type fitting with protection on the clamps in the access and work area. Scaffolding requirements. What is the requirement of when you are going to build the scaffolding, erect the scaffolding, then what is the minimum requirement of the scaffolding? First, SWP permit of work, then job safety analysis to be obtained before erecting dismantle of a scaffolding. It is not allowed to stay and execute individual work on scaffolding. individual person cannot allow to work on scaffolding. Work instruction for all scaffolding which will be erected, dismantled and working at height, safety on the project. Signalize and isolate the area, means area should be barricade when you are going to erect the scaffolding, then area should be barricade, area should be isolated and signages should be there. Signages, what should be there? Signages, work at height in progress or scaffolding erection in progress. When you are going to dismantle, then signages should be there. Scaffolding dismantle in progress. Then evaluate the show condition and provide support floorboard base plate in order to avoid sinking